know what I'm saying? We got it done in Columbia. Now, Charlotte, we're going to have to put extra work. We're going to put extra work up there in Charlotte. We're going to have to, backhand a little bit, because all this talk about y'all want a wide receiver at 8, good. Can that receiver stop the run? That's all I'm asking. Can the tight end stop the run? I would love it. I would love to put up 50 points a game. But guess what? The away team probably going to put up 60. Y'all see that? T, me and you watch the same defense. You called it. You said, hey, I don't want to hear nothing about this defense. What we about to see, this man called it August. I promise you, in August, we did a show. This man said, look, I don't want to hear no Panthers fans talk about this defense. And I'm like, well, we got Clowney. We got, Derek Brown. He's like, brother, again, I do not want to hear nothing about this defense. All right? They say, this is the worst piss poor defense I've seen all of it. That was terrible. And people get on it, and people just get on talking about let's draft a wide receiver or a tight end at 8. Go ahead.
And look, you know what? We here. We haven't talked about these boys in quite some time. We here. So I understand the BPA method of drafting. And by BPA, I mean best player available. And for a team that isn't very good at anything, BPA makes sense to this group. I like to build with structure. That's my preferred method of building. I like to build with some intent behind it. So now this may lead to reaching for certain guys that may not be worth the pick that you're at. So guys like Mike Green, who has made waves since the Senior Bowl, people still feel like maybe 8 is a little too high. That guys like Jalen Walker out of Georgia, I like him. I like both of these guys. And there's a lot. And let me be clear. There are a lot of guys in this draft that I like. Like, I like the kids out of Georgia. Michael Williams and Jalen Walker. I like both of those kids. If we were to trade back, I like Malachi Starks. Now, I know you talked about the tight end, like, can the tight end stop the run? But let me interest you in this. White Big Ten tight end. Is that not a guaranteed Hall of Fame?
Number 8 pick. Give me it was Mike Green for a good minute. It was, but like after watching Philly and they dominance, and I think we need to steal their flow and drink their Kool-Aid. We need to draft Buddy from Georgia. That's just me. I like the pitch though, because white tight ends from the big has shown and has proven to be quite reliable. So I mean, and that's the kind of thing I've been like looking for in our offense is a prime George Kittle, like, dominant tight end. However, it's just I've really been big on the defense, man. I really want our defense to come together and be a unit that we used to be. Because in Carolina, we always had a defense. We always had the top linebacker core. What I'm gonna do is my input on what I think the Panthers should draft and what they should use for the number 8 pick. A lot of talk on social media. A lot of Panthers fans, they want another receiver. I even saw the tight end Tyler Warren from Penn State, which is all cool and dandy. I think Panthers do need to go add another weapon at the receiving position to help Bryce Young out. I also think they do need to consider bringing in another running back as well, but y'all not talking about that enough for me. But for me, who I want 3 defensive guys, because this defense was putrid and just awful. So give me Mason Graham. This is ranking, by the way. Mason Graham, number 1. Give me what's my man from Georgia? Michael Williams.
Is it Michael Williams you like or Jalen Walker? It's 2 different guys.
They both from Georgia, right?
They're both from Georgia, yeah. Now, Michael Williams is more of like the project type of guy. Jalen Walker, a bit more refined. I like them. I like them both.
We need a guy ready now that can start now. So give me Jalen Walker.
I know the fans aren't going to be willing to wait on a guy like a Michael Williams that will need time to develop. So Jalen Walker is kind of where I'm like,
yeah, give me Jalen Walker, and then also I'm cool with trading back and trying to get Mike Green as well out of Marshall. Those type of guys that we need for this type of guys we need for this defense. So
And look, I'm 100% with you. Now I'm gonna give the other perspective of the fans that have talked about BPA and possibly taking a receiver at 8, and the receiver being Ted McMillan out of Arizona. While I'm not the biggest fan of like his size and how he moves, cool. I don't know if I think he'll necessarily translate to the league and what I think he'll be in the league. Like, I don't even think that he's gonna be like a bona fide number one at the next level. Like he can be a solid guy, but I don't know if he can be like the guy. Like because you would hope he would have to be like a Mike Evans type of cat at that size and what you're saying, what people say he possesses. And especially until we see a 40 time posted, I don't really know what to make of his speed either. But maybe one of those things where how he plays, it may not matter. But nonetheless, I understand the mindset behind wanting to take just whoever at that number 8 pick, because I don't know if there's a receiver in free agency you could sign today that A, you can afford, and B, that is the type of talent that could help you out right now in terms of being the number one. I don't know if that guy exists in this current free agent class. So that being with that kind of being a scenario, I can understand why you would go receiver at 8 from that mindset. Is that you would be getting this receiver on a rookie deal. You'd have 5 years essentially with them to figure it out. I guess my thing was, it's always been this way, that I thought we should have double dipped last year, and I'll always keep repeating that. But that should have been the key. Now I love the idea that you have in terms of going defense. Like, hey, Mason Graham, to me, Jalen Walker, K and Mike Green, and then even in the second round, I know you're gonna hate what I'm about to say. I know you're not gonna approve. But Kyle Kennard in the second, if you can find a way to get to the top of the second, somehow, some way, get to the top of the second round, and you snag Kyle Kennard, dog, that actually transforms your room. Imagine you get Mason Graham right in the first, and then you go get Kyle Kennard in the second.
sir, your fan base,
That may have
your fan
just
base is going to expect the standard, the make believe standard. Your fan base is going to have for Cal Kennard to make sure he's Julius Peppers year one. So that's the only reason why I'm against it.
look, understandable beef. I'm not here. I'm not here to refute any of that. But because of how deep this edge class is, even aside from Kyle Kennard, this edge class is deep enough to where there's a guy you can take in the second that can still very much help you, even if you don't go edge in the first round. Now, the issue I think we're gonna have is being at 57. Your guy, you got to find a way to move a little bit further up. You got to get another pick. You got to get a higher pick in that second round, somewhere in the 40s at least, for me to feel comfortable with whoever we're about to take and have like real expectations for them. But I mean, I think those are just the things. Though. I mean, we understand where we're at, and there's so many different ways to skin a cat. They have to attack this free agency class like how you did the offense last year. Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt on the offensive line last year, completely transformed the offensive line. Man, it's one of the better units in the league. Chuba Hubbard runs for 1,000 yards. Bryce Young has time in the pocket to operate. Things looked a lot different in that back half of the year. We have hope now and have expectations because of what they did in free agency last year. So shout out to Dan Morgan for that. If you apply that same method to the defense, you fix the trenches, and that's where the majority of that money needs to go. Can you find guys that are premium players that for some reason want to come to Charlotte, North Carolina to come play football? It may be tough. And I don't know who's gonna bite the bullet. But you got to try. Somebody got to bite the bullet and just come be a Panther. Help us learn the ways of the winning. You know what I'm saying? We got to try to figure this out. But the game plan is simple. The method is simple. We've already told y'all boys the method. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe for more football 101 tips with your boy Sean T. Stewart and the boy A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? We out here giving out free game. Gym Dropper sports style with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you feel me? You feel me?